Welcome, round two. Our last version of this got erased, so I'm going to be here. We're going to be doing this little interview session.
Gotta try to do it quick too.
We have 20 minutes.
Well, I mean, if it'll let me come down, I got it still.
No, we got it. All right. So, do you want to introduce? You want to introduce yourself?
Again, I am Jacob Allen. I am in the graduating class of 2017 at Joliet West, and this is my final project for English.
This off by I'm going to ask you some questions regarding freshman year, community service, things you've done at West as a whole, your future, everything. So, sir, I said it twice. But first, we're going to start with freshman year. So, from 8th grade going into high school, how did you think of high school, and what really did you expect, like, going into this new environment? There's twice the amount of kids, there's a whole lot of clubs, there's a lot of new stuff.
Wasn't really expecting much at all, just expecting the same kind of year in school, just to be exactly the same, just new people in general, like you said. Didn't expect anything.
What are, like, because again, it's a new environment, what are some things that happened your very first year here at West?
First year, I partook in different like activities during school, like certain electives, like such as welding. I even played a sport for the first time in school in general, was volleyball. Freshman volleyball team, B team. We beat you guys all the time though.
It's very true.
I started getting into a little bit of clubs, not interested that many other than volleyball though.
So did you expect your freshman year to go the way it did?
Yes, I very much did, because it was just easy. It was just, it was basically like, felt like 8th grade all over again, since it was just getting to know what you just learned over again.
All right, now we hit the rough spot of Jake's high school career, his sophomore year. And what did you expect going into your sophomore year? Because you were just coming out of freshman year. It was blow off year pretty much. It was just a review.
Yes.
You were starting to get your feet in. So what did you really expect?
I was same as freshman year. I was not expecting anything at all really, since it's what I was like used to, was just learning something new every time, like not being like having any struggle in learning. And then sophomore year, that changed drastically because they wanted to get you ready for junior year. I learned that.
So I put something easy, and then you kind of got a reality check.
Oh, yeah, big time.
The ACT. So once you started that and you experienced like actually being a real high school student and really in the education process, did you think that like it would have changed, or did you think like, because spoilers, like English kind of drowned you out? Like, did you expect English to hit you as hard as it did?
No, I did not at all. First semester wasn't bad. It was towards the end of second semester I started slacking off, and I had Miss Coppers. She was a rough teacher. I understand that, and it was kind of my own fault though, since I was just being lazy for the like last two projects we had for the class, which really drowned my grade, and I had to retake it.
So once you realized that like just sophomore year is pretty much halfway through high school, did you really expect anything to continue or to change? Like, did you expect your work ethic to change? Because again, you were halfway through high school at that point.
Yes, I was. And my work expectation really changed after that, because I knew I can't do that again, because I don't want to have to go to summer school or not be able to graduate when I'm able to, since I only had 2 years left. So I wanted to wake myself up more and get everything I need turned in when I need it, instead of having to just hold it off just because I'm too lazy to do it at the time. So
then you started junior year, and your expectation for this year was you're not going to get drowned out. You're going to like take it. Summer school kind of like nipped you in the bud, and then you were just gonna. What was your new tactic for junior year other than making sure that you weren't procrastinating?
I mean,
did you have any overall changes?
Most of the time, I was doing my work in school as much as I can, instead of just holding it off till after school, which I would just go home and be lazy and just go out and do what I want. But at school, I had nothing to do, so I started to work on more of my stuff during some classes when I had free time, instead of just bumming the entire time.
So speaking of like actual classwork, did you do anything to prepare for the actual ACT testing, or taking the test as a whole, or anything along those lines?
No, I did not. I was one of those students who just was, the classes will help me with those ACTs. And I was just thinking that the entire time, since, I mean, why put so much time into my ECT studying if I'm just gonna do it during classes anyways.
And you aren't going into a major or a field, which we'll touch on later. But you're not really, ACT doesn't really matter for your
Not
career.
that much, no.
Nor schooling.
It's a little bit. That's it.
Yeah. So what are some things that you specifically did that were different your junior year as opposed to your other 2 years? And then how did the things that you did keep you on track for the rest of your
Most of the time
junior
I
year and senior year?
stayed active most of the time and just multitasked with everything I had to do
Mhm.
in and outside of school. And I made that work since I was turning in my projects when they needed to. Any classwork was just turned in as soon as I can. It was good that whole year.
So then, how important was senior year? Before you went into it, you know, senior year is like the best year of
Yeah,
high school,
you could say
supposedly.
that.
Like, did you foresee yourself really having a true senior year experience, or did you just see it being like a repeat of your other years? What did you expect going into your
Well,
senior
from
year?
learning from everyone else, like my upperclassmen that I knew, like for the past years, was senior year. Most of the kids are just laid back. Some of the teachers are too, since they know it's your last year and you're just gonna graduate. Just not like pushing everything on you so hard, since they know you're graduating.
So, do you ever expect yourself to really do like the community service? Like, you can talk freely because this is my project, but
Yeah.
you did do a lot of community service, and you did
Yeah.
do this. As you can tell, we're in the wonderful, renovated, totally has a fire extinguisher, and there's an adult in here, TNN studio. Do you want to talk about how you got involved with the school that way, and specifically the community service aspect of that?
And that way, it really was a community service for this. Since I started doing this junior year,
Mhm.
I would come in the morning with you guys. It wasn't even a class yet for me.
Yep.
And I would just help out with you guys with recording, sometimes be on here. And that was pretty much it, I mean, for this class. And then
Football?
Football, you told me to do it since it was something for me to do. And it was fun most of the time. We had fun times on the field if you ever saw us goofing around in the end zone the entire time.
Yeah, on one of the highlight films,
Yes.
there's
All three of us.
the three of us, and one is recording, and the other is like wheelbarrowing the other around in the camera equipment. I'm sorry, Jason Aubrey, but I'm kind of gonna be gone,
We're all going to be
so sorry. Your first few weeks of high school, did you get that impression that it was pretty much gonna be really laid back?
Yes,
and
I did.
not much was gonna
I mean,
happen.
I mean, we got this project. I mean, we really haven't done. We've done a lot of projects though in this English class. We have, but I mean, they've all been kind of easy though.
Oof.
They have. I mean, yeah. I mean, I might turn them in late, like just probably like a day late. But I mean, they were kind of easy once like you work on them.
So as we mentioned earlier, with the ACT not really mattering in the whole education as a whole, what are you going to go into, or what are your plans for education after high school?
I want to try to go into a trade school for welding since I've always been good at it. I mean, in school I did it only for 2 semesters. That was my
Mhm.
freshman year too.
Yeah.
And outside of school, I would just do it like free time sometimes when I worked with my grandfather.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. And then since I might be moving to Arizona, I could go Arizona State for free once I get my residency.
Yeah.
So that might work out too if they have any classes.
Did you see yourself like going on this path? Like freshman year, did you expect yourself to do all the things that you did, or no?
Not at all.
Did you expect to go into welding, or what did you?
No, honestly, I mean, I started figuring more of this out after sophomore year when
Mhm.
junior year hit, because like that's when basically you start seeing a reality check in
Okay.
school and afterwards.
All right.
I would say.
But again, thank you for everything.